So today we're having a look at a Ford Transit Custom. I do love these, however, there are a couple of things you really need to know about when you are inspecting them. So let's go and have a look at this. There's three good things, three bad things that I like about this van. All right, let's go. So the first thing that I like about this is that we have this wonderful big cup holder up here for my coffees and a great big bin down here for my water bottle, and it is the same on the other side as well. But unfortunately, and here's the negative, that we have three seats in here, and the person that sits in the middle, well, they get a gear lever in their knee, and that's it, no cup holder. So there's a good and a bad thing, bearing in mind this is a tradie van. All right, on to the next thing. All right, they have made a really good use of these seats. So normally these seats have just got a frame underneath and that's it. But have a look at this. We pull the seat up and forwards, get up there. And look at this, you get this great big storage area underneath that you can use to, you know, do all sorts of stuff. You could build a little drawer system if you wanted to, you know, like a little file system, or you could just have, you know, lots of stuff just chucked in here, or maybe even, looks like someone might have even had a battery under here at some point. But I absolutely think that that's a great use of the seats, so 10 out of 10 for that. We have lots of storage up here, and you think that that would be a good thing, but the only thing I ever find about storage that's just open like this is that every time you put in like paperwork and anything that's light in colour, like a, you know, like a tape measure or something like that, you throw that in there and all it's going to do is reflect off of the windscreen. So absolutely great that you've got this wonderful storage on the dash. I prefer to actually have have it to be a locker so that it doesn't reflect on the windscreen. Now the last thing that we've got to talk about is the engine, and let's do a good and a bad. For a start, that this is a front wheel drive engine. That means that we can have a lower floor, which, look at this, there's my knee. So this floor is knee height, which means I don't have to do a lot of effort to get things into here. I've got lots of storage as well. It gives me more storage in here. So this van can be lower, but also have more storage because there's no tail shaft or axle in going to the back to drive the wheels. It's all at the front, which means we get this nice big open compartment and a very low floor. Right, let's talk about that engine. So if you haven't heard already, Ford have made probably best to saying, a catastrophic error in their engine building. Now, we used to have cam belts on Ford Transits. I used to work for them. Used to have cam belts which would time the diesel pump and the cam belt and the crankshaft all together. And it's down in here, which is the front of the engine, which is the only trouble with front wheel drive engines. They're quite actually hard to get to. Now, it used to be a belt, and they used to basically go all the time. They used to fail all the time. Then they went to a chain, which I think is the best of both worlds. I think you should, anything that's commercial, I think you should have chain or gears. Gears are more truck related, but you should have a chain on here. But they decided, Ford in their infinite wisdom, went to a wet belt. And unfortunately, that is a rubber belt in oil, which any mechanic, ask any mechanic, oil on a belt means it's going to degrade and break pretty quick. And the Ford engineers decided, well, that doesn't matter to us, we're going to do it anyway. As a result, what we've ended up with is a fairly unreliable engine and a wet belt that used to have a very large maintenance schedule. The maintenance schedule is about 240 kilometers, and it's almost cut that down by a third to a half. Overall, I do like these Transits. I'm a big fan of Transits. I used to work for them, as I said. I used to build them back in the days, and I think they've done a really good job on these. I think they've really come much better. They lost their way a bit. The styling went all a bit, but I think these are great. It's just that wet belt that they've got on it that really does just let it down as a vehicle. Get that chain on it, and I think that would be absolutely brilliant. All right, anyway, there's my thoughts of the Ford Transit Custom. Have a great day, and I'm going to go off and do some more inspections.